What is up, everybody, and welcome in to the latest rookie scouting profile here on the YouTube page for the Red Shirts Fantasy Football Podcast. If you're just finding us for the first time, first off, thank you. Second off, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We have other rookie scouting profiles up here on our page, as well as all of our podcasts, and we'll have a lot more rookie content coming to our YouTube page here in the next several weeks as we lead up to the NFL Draft. Today's prospect is going to be Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the running back out of LSU. And man, this is a guy that is fun to watch play. He's a guy that I'm definitely rising on in my rookie rankings when I watch more of his tape, which we're going to get to here in a second. But let's start with the measurables from the NFL Combine, which took place about a month ago. He's a smaller back, 5'7", 207 pounds. So, when we talk about running back profiles, size is not going to be, quote unquote, a strength of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's a smaller back, but he's compact and he runs effectively with the size that he does have. Looking at the measurables of the bench press, he had 15 reps, 40-yard dash, 4.60. The broad jump was 123. His vertical jump was 39.5 inches. So nothing there really jumps off the page a ton to me. A lot of people see that 40-yard dash time and they get really worried or apprehensive about the fact that it's much slower than a guy like Jonathan Taylor, who ran a 4.39, or DeAndre Swift, who ran it, I believe, a 4.47. It's not really a strength of his, and we're going to get to that with the game tape, but long speed isn't what Clyde Edwards-Helaire brings to the table. And to be honest with you, for today's NFL, that's probably okay. A lot of times nowadays, we're looking at a running back that can get the ball in space, be more quick than fast, and be elusive in the open field. And that's what Clyde Edwards-Helaire does. I mean, when this guy has the ball in space, he is very, very difficult to bring down. So is he going to be that type of player that breaks off, a 60 or a 70-yard run for a touchdown? Most often, probably not. And he doesn't really have that long speed to showcase that. However, he is quick, he is shifty, and he can be effective when the ball is in his hands. Again, we'll get to that tape here in 1 second. Let's talk about the statistics for the 2019 season here for the running back out of LSU. On the ground, I mean, you look at what the stat line is here: 215 carries, over 1,400 yards, and 16 rushing touchdowns. It's just absurd. The guy came out and proved a lot of people that he could be a top-tier talent at the college level. I mean, you look at what he did in his first couple of seasons. In year one, he was definitely playing as a role player. In year two at LSU, he did have almost 700 rush yards and 7 touchdowns, but he was not the team starter. In that season, he was playing behind Nick Brissett and was definitely more of a role player. But when he got the opportunity, man, he produced. And that's what we want to see, when we talk about fantasy production and looking at the next level. Can these guys produce when they're given the opportunity? And no doubt about it, CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, definitely can. Through the air, we'll look at his stats next. 55 receptions, 453 yards, and a touchdown as well to add to it. On the paper or on surface, it doesn't really look like a lot of production, just 55 catches. But when you talk about a college season, remember, it's 3 or 4 games shorter than the NFL season. And catching 55 footballs for the running back in college is actually very good, and it's excellent. And that is one of his best strengths, no doubt about it. When you look at the film, is his ability to catch the football out of the backfield. So definitely really like that aspect of CEH's game. I think he can really excel at the next level right out of the gate as a third down back and potentially more. So let's talk about the film next for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Man, there was several times on tape that I just was, shaking my head like, wow, how did he do that? And what I'm speaking about is mostly his quickness, his shiftiness, and his ability to make defenders miss in space. I mean, this guy, like we said, isn't necessarily fast in the long speed, but you look at what he can do in short area quickness, it is elite. And he is a player who is difficult to bring down with just one defender. He's not the biggest back like we talked about, but he is tough to bring down, and he runs with a playing style that's elusive. I mean, when you see him on tape get mismatched with a safety or a linebacker, it's almost game over for CEH. He is going to beat that defender 8 or 9 times out of 10 because of how quick his feet are and because of how decisive he is when he gets through the line of scrimmage. So I love that about CEH. And we already talked about, too, the pass catching is definitely a strength for this player. If he finds himself in the NFL with a coach who knows how to use the running back out of the backfield, he is going to excel at the next level, no doubt about it, because of the fact that he can have those mismatches in the slot. He can win out of the backfield against the linebacker. his quickness is better than those linebackers. And so he'll be able to create space for easy checkdowns for the quarterback, and he'll be able to do something when the ball is in his hand. So, if we're talking PPR formats for fantasy, I think CEH should definitely be on your radar as early as 2020. As a sleeper in redrafts and in dynasty formats, he's definitely a guy who's going to skyrocket up the ranks if he lands in the right situation with a coach who knows how to use his skill set out of the backfield as a receiver. The other strength that I love about Clyde Edwards-Helaire is ball security. He touched the ball almost 300 times alone in his final season at LSU, and he only fumbled the ball twice. So that's something that I think is going to be nice for a coaching staff to see. They're going to really like that ball security, and it'll help him stay on the field and not get put into a coach's doghouse, so to speak. So I like that a lot about CEH. Carries the ball high and tight and protects it very well. Now, weaknesses, we have to talk about that, of course. He does have a couple. He doesn't really profile as a goal line back or a short yardage back. Did he do it at LSU? Yes, he did. And let's not forget, he had 16 rushing touchdowns. But he isn't really the type of big bruising back that he'll be that 3rd and 1 goal line back or really get you in close to the end zone and be able to punch it in. He has done it again at the college level, but certainly in the NFL, where there's much bigger players on the defensive side of the ball, I think he might have a role where he gets subbed out at the goal line, which could certainly hurt his fantasy value, of course. But that's one knock on him. The other thing that I think is a bit of a knock on him is the fact that he doesn't really win on outside runs quite as much, meaning if it's a foot race between he and a defender to get to the sideline to get upfield, sometimes he loses to the linebacker. Again, that comes back to the speed. The long speed isn't really there. But, for a guy like CEH, who we talked about has that quickness, has that burst, he's elusive and wins in tight spaces because of how shifty and quick his feet are, I think he's going to still be able to succeed in an NFL offense, again, given the right opportunity for him. So to recap, I think CEH is a steal at the back end of round 1 in your rookie drafts because of the fact that he is a PPR asset. He's going to catch the football, and when he gets the football in his hands, he's a dangerous playmaker. Does he have 3-down capability at the NFL level? Yes, I believe he does. But again, one issue is the size. He could get subbed out in goal line packages. Overall, though, really like this kid. Really think that if he finds himself in the right situation, he is going to be a fantasy asset for years to come. All right, guys, that wraps it up here. Like I said, please check out our other scouting report videos here on the YouTube page. Hit that like button, subscribe so you never miss one of our profiles. And until next time, wear the red shirts.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Red Shirts Fantasy Football Podcast. Hit us up on Twitter at RedShirtsFFPod and check out our website, redshirtsfantasyfootball.com.